Barnaby Joyce, thank you so much for your time. Farmers around the world really getting it from the neck from global warming policies on cattle and fertilisers. How much longer before our farmers start to get leaned on as well?
Well, we can see that they're sort of moving in that direction already, aren't they? We see the sort of the silence and sort of basically fill in the gaps process of where they are. We listened to Tanya Plibersek the other day, the sort of princess of socialism, talking about how this is the cause du jour. We never heard her mention foot and mouth, which would absolutely decimate both our beef industry, our sheep industry, our pork industry, the capacity to move farm machinery. When you think of dairy industry, but milk, cheese, yogurt, beef, sheep, mutton, lamb, mince, pork chops, sausages. I don't know what's going to happen to your food bill when they're all gone, go through the roof. Maybe in the background they're thinking that this is a righteous thing, as part of being the righteous poor, that if we reduce methane emissions and your food bill goes up even further, that somehow that's a moral good. I mean, there are many people now really struggling with the capacity to meet their food bill. And of course, if you don't use fertiliser, you don't have yields. And if you don't have yields, you reduce supply. And the fundamental of economics is reduce supply. And of course, the price goes up. And Sri Lanka is now discovering that complete collapse because they were going to go organic. Now, the whole reason people are not starving to death now is that the Green Revolution, the late 1940s, early 1950s, that gave us the genetics and the fertiliser to be able to feed the population as it then was. Well, the population now is substantially bigger. It's heading towards 10 billion people. And unless you are able to feed the people, they will die. And for you, no one's going to die in Australia, but you will pay through the nose. See, in the end, with this global warming policy, somebody pays. And now you're realising who it is. You when you buy your groceries, you when you pay for your fuel, you when you pay for your power, and if people want to make it go quicker, you will pay more. And if foot and mouth
the problem is, Barnaby Joyce,
the nose.
Point is that I don't think we can get to net zero without touching farmers like this, and there's been almost zero discussion of what's coming down the road, and farmers have got to be a wake-up. Look to New Zealand, look to Holland, look to Sri Lanka, they're coming. Now, Barnaby, you mentioned foot and mouth disease. You've been on the show last week saying you wanted tougher measures to protect our herds from the outbreak in Indonesia. News today that fragments of foot and mouth virus have been found in Australia now in pork from China, found in Melbourne, and beef that a traveller returning from Indonesia tried to sneak in. Now, the viral fragments, we're told, actually do pose no risk. But should we worry?
Yes, we should, of course, Andrew, and for your listeners, because now the argument is not whether it's here, it's the form it's here in. And likely it's in an inert form. But what the question that's posed is, especially for the what came in from Indonesia, did you check their shoes? Did you check their clothes? Did they just wander through without even going through a sterilisation bath? Are they now wandering around Rockhampton? Or are they wandering around Dubbo? Are they in Tamworth? Are they down at Wodonga or in South Australia? And of course, once more you think, oh, that's a problem for the cockies out in the country. No, that's a problem for you. It's a problem for you if you buy milk. It's a problem for you if you buy butter. It's a problem for you if you eat meat. This is a big problem for you. And if people say, well, I'm a vegan, it doesn't worry me. No, we can't move farm machinery if this breaks out. So we can't harvest. And this will be a disaster. And the Minister Murray Watt, has proved to be almost incompetent to the point of negligence. And if any other government, the Prime
they have
Minister
put in footbaths finally. They have finally put in footbaths.
Oh, they've finally done.
Barnaby Joyce, they've put in footbaths at airports to clean your shoes before you come in.
I wouldn't worry about clean shoes. I'd be saying, here's a bin, drop them in them. Buy a very cheap pair of shoes before you go to Indonesia and drop the shoes in the bin and any other piece of clothes. Because if you don't, it comes home to you in the cost of your goods. And this time it will be an exorbitant increase in the price of groceries. And, if they stopped people coming to Australia. Murray Watt was screaming the roof down, wanting people banned to come into Australia. They want them sent into a centre, well camp at Toowoomba. And now, it's awesome. Cistercian silence. It's almost monastic. And after kicking and screaming, after warning him, he's now come up with foot bars. So now we have a couple of dogs, a social awareness campaign, flyers and foot bars. And what have we got? We've found out
foot bars are at least better than what we had a week ago. I know you were mentioning foot bars before, but at least we're a bit further down the track.